One of the core challenges of many established financial institutions is moving beyond the constraints of legacy technology to become truly innovative and agile in an era of rapid change.
In fact, agility is no longer a feature that's just a bonus. In many cases, it is a survival strategy. And to explore how banks can best achieve this, we are joined by Yoav Ash, Head of Product Management over at Vault Systems at Thought Machine. Welcome, Yoav.
Thank you.
Now, over the past decade or so, the banking industry has been making the shift to cloud computing. What are the benefits and motivations for doing so, especially in a cloud-native manner?
Right. So when we talk about cloud native, we mean, we refer to capabilities like system health, self-healing, disaster recovery, the ability to deploy new products fast, and frequently, performance, and of course scalability, very important for payments. But in order to actually realize all these capabilities that the cloud gives you, the system needs to be built from the ground up with all that in mind. Otherwise, you deploy something on the cloud, you get hosting, right? So it's like you take a horse and carriage, you put it on the Autobahn, it'll still go 8 miles per hour. So.
Now, many banks speak of innovation and yet are held back by their existing infrastructure. What's the biggest barrier that legacy payment systems create for genuine innovation?
So obviously there's the usual things. So it's all legacy code. It's very complex. It's quite brittle. It's hard and costly to change. Aging workforce, inability to reach data. So all of these things are always there, and they're always stopping banks. I guess another thing the bank should worry about when they want to actually innovate is that if they're using a vendor-provided software and they're innovating, they're building a new product, it's going to be released next time with the software to all their competitors. So they really need the ability to have the ability to retain those IPs and do those things, overcome the technical problems, but also retaining the IP.
So how does a modern cloud-native platform architecture specifically help to overcome the barriers posed by legacy systems?
Right. So, we're interested in the sort of 10%, if you're looking at I'll give an analogy, like a system is like an iceberg. What you see above the water is like 10%, is the business logic, what we're interested in. But then you have beneath what you don't see is all the technical issues, the persistence, messaging, performance, auditing, the list goes on and on. So anytime you want to change something at the 10% where you actually care, your customers care about, you need to think about all of the rest of it, or everything that's hidden. So a truly modern, innovative system basically decouples the two completely, so that when we or the bank needs to, they want to change something in how they do business, they don't need to worry about all the plumbing. It needs to be completely decoupled and easy to change and own by the bank.
And the need for data access is rising, of course, for operational needs, serving embedded finance and bars, analytics, and many, many more uses. What does good look like when it comes to serving data?
Yeah, because I like analogies. So, in court you go, they say you need to say the truth, all the truth, and the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And the same here, like you want the data and all the data and all of the time. You need to be able to access it either on a transactional level for operational needs, or aggregated for monitoring, for reporting, or business analytics, which can drive more business. And that's what good looks like. It's very simple.
So a very important question to you then, what organizational and cultural shifts are necessary for a bank to fully leverage a modern payments platform?
Right, and I guess this applies to any modernization program. All the issues that were raised with legacy systems and the difficulties in actually changing them and bringing new things to the table meant when a bank usually goes to one of these projects, you have to justify it, so you'll go with very wide scope and ambitions. And that can be a hindrance to a project, actually. So while it is useful and good for all the same reasons to have an ambitious plan, it's better to actually identify like a use case, something useful, something that can be achievable, do that, prove the technology, prove the process, and then you can go on and move on and do more and actually succeed in doing it.
We've spoken about stable coins a few times here already in Frankfurt. Where are your plans there?
Yeah, so I'm not going to talk about, how stablecoins are going to change everything because, we're not bankers, right? We're software providers, but obviously it's a thing. And I guess, looking back, payment industry has always been innovating with payment instruments. Like go look for the 1800, wires were amazing. Cards in the 50s. We've got the automated clearing houses, the RTGSs, and instant payment was sort of like the new boy just a few years ago. So new payment instruments are always coming in and always will, and that's how it should be. It does present one, I guess, challenge to the banks, which we're seeing, is that you get fragmentation on your stack, because every time a new instrument comes along, you'll deploy something to solve it. And one of the biggest problems that we set out to solve, to help banks, is to consolidate that into a single stack, a single platform that can handle all of these operational considerations. And this applies to stable coins and anything DLT-based, essentially. So this is something that we're looking into. We're actually building something, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about it soon.
And right before you leave us, can you share a tangible example of a use case where the agility of a cloud-native platform has actually allowed a bank to go from idea to launch in just a fraction of the time it would have taken with their old system?
Yeah, so one of our clients, BPI in France, we started the project quite late when it came to meeting the regulatory requirements to go live with instant payments at the beginning of this year. And they were able to just take on the system, put in all the changes that they wanted to make to how we process instant payments, doing it completely on their own. So we were there to help them, to sort of give advice. But all of this ability to own what you're doing, to be able to do it yourself too, and not being dependent on the vendor really played into to their benefit, and they went live with time to spare. And they seem to be happy, I think.
Well, thank you for breaking it all down for us and for sharing so many wonderful analogies, and enjoy the rest of your week at Sibos. That was Yoav Ash, Head of Product Management, Vault Payments at Thought Machine.